Check, check.
How does base choose their partners and beneficiaries? How do we go about partnering with you for research or social housing project? And later on for research and studies, Luis, you may also want. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the launch of the BASE Innovation Center. I am Maricen Halandoni, President and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of BASE Bahay Foundation. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us via our FB Live. Please let us know your thoughts through the comment section, and if you have questions, please feel free to write them down also in the comment section, and we'll address as many questions as we can during the panel discussion later on. One of the most pressing issues that we face today is our lack of affordable, safe, and secure quality housing, especially in the socialized and affordable housing sector. In the Philippines alone, the housing gap is estimated to be at 6.8 million units, and this is only from 2017 to 2022. This means that 6.8 million families in the country do not have access to safe and adequate homes. The pandemic that continues to affect all our lives made the need for safe and secure homes even more evident. So you see, entire communities are left vulnerable, and they've no choice but to live along the high risk areas that offer little or no shelter during typhoons and storms. And many of them are continuously subjected to other risks such as health risks, safety, and security. Sadly, though, this scenario is repeated in many other developing nations. And this is what we at Base Bahay aim to address. Since our inception in 2014, Base Bahay continues to be committed to providing affordable, disaster resilient, and environmentally sustainable housing using what we call the cement bamboo frame technology. And then we go even beyond housing to be able to create an even more positive impact on society. We also take a look at the value chain that is developed together with it. This value chain provides livelihood opportunities for the members of the community, livelihood opportunities that can help them lead a more dignified life later on. But as with any other technology, it's very important that we have constant research and innovation so that we can ensure that the technology is optimized and that it continues to evolve so that it adapts to the changing environment as well as to the changing times. It's also very important to continue to study new techniques, alternative materials, alternative methods that can help improve, complement, or even supplement those that already exist. So, because of this, we felt the need for a facility that's equipped with all the necessary instruments that will allow institutions, universities, professionals to conduct their research, to come together and collaborate with other experts on developing alternative construction technologies, and then do hands-on skills training. Because what's a technology if people don't know how to use it? And thus, the birth of the Base Innovation Center. So in the next 90 minutes, we will be showing you a few videos to showcase what we do as a foundation, the partners we work with, as well as take you on a virtual tour of the Base Innovation Center. This will be followed by a panel discussion and an open forum where we'll address all your questions, or at least as many questions as we can given the time. You may write your questions in the comments section, and we'll answer them during the panel discussion. When you write down your questions, we'd appreciate it if you can write your name as well as the person who you'd like to address the question to. So now, ladies and gentlemen, with pride, I'd like to present to you Base Bahay Foundation and the Base Innovation Center.
Hello everyone and welcome. We are very grateful that you have joined us today. For us here in Base Bahay Foundation, this is a very exciting moment because today we are opening the doors of the Base Innovation Center. Base Innovation Center, or BIC as we call them, is a scientific, creative, and industrial space that puts you alongside local and international researchers and specialists working on alternative green building materials for sustainable construction with social impact. This center is open for students, professionals, developers, entrepreneurs, startups, and academic researchers working on these fields. This is a venue for research and testing programs, as well as continuing professional education and training. Our goal is to advance bamboo-based technology and other alternative building technologies towards creation of a better sustainable future. Join me and our team in welcoming you to the new Base Innovation Center.
Since its inception, Base Bahay Foundation has been on a mission to provide alternative building technologies for sustainable, affordable, and quality homes for Filipinos. Homes that provide inclusive, disaster-resilient, and dignified living. Working closely with a network of partners, Base Bahay has developed the innovative cement bamboo frame homes for urban poor communities and disaster victims all over the country. Using bamboo technology, Base Bahay has so far helped establish 4 bamboo treatment centers and 10 cement bamboo communities. But the key to sustainable technology is constant research and innovation, training, and finding new ways to optimize the technology and designs.
Construction industry is responsible of 40% of the carbon emissions per year, and around 8 to 10% of the emissions came from only for concrete and cement industry. We are destroying our world. If we don't change the way we build, we will kill ourselves. We need to use more bamboo, we need to use more hemp to make our houses more sustainable and reduce our carbon footprint.
This urgent need for research on sustainable technologies has pushed for the creation of the Base Innovation Center. Located in Makati City, this is the first research facility for alternative building materials and technologies, especially bamboo.
There is plenty of benefits using bamboo as a structural material. It's very good for the environment. Bamboo is probably the species that grow faster in the planet. Very sustainable, so you cut it and you can use it very quickly. So you create circular economies with farmers. It's like in the middle range of between concrete and timber. So good for earthquakes and good for typhoons. And there is other more advantages like better thermal comfort inside the house, so meaning you feel more fresh in summer than if you are in a concrete house.
With the many sustainable and environmentally friendly benefits of bamboo, the BIC is committed to raising the standards of research on this valuable building material.
Topics like wind resistance, fire resistance are topics that we need to research more. Combinations of bamboo with other material like steel, concrete. You can go to research fibers, trying to create biopolymers using bamboo fiber.
Base Bahay's cement bamboo frame technology has already been proven to produce sturdy, disaster-resilient homes. But constant research on the load-bearing capacity of the many indigenous bamboo species in the country is still needed to maximize its use.
The characterization is very important because we need to know our material here. Philippines has many species of bamboo, more than 10 that can be used for construction. But if you want to know the resistance of species, you cannot find the data. So one of our objectives is to characterize all the Philippine species, so all the people in different regions can use their bamboo for construction and know what is the resistance of their species. UTM is an universal testing machine, so we can crush the bamboo in compression and determine what is the resistance. We can make tests in tension also. For example, if you are an engineer, you need to design a column, you need to know the resistance of your material, you need to know modulus of elasticity. Those are information that the engineers need to design elements. With this machine, we can produce all that information and create the standards for design with bamboo.
What interests me about bamboo is that it is a commonly used material, but it doesn't have the same popularity as the traditional construction materials, such as lumber or in steel. It is a good research to start with to help the local communities, to help the local bamboo industry, and also to promote the material. Having access to this equipment is very crucial to the study.
Committed to the empowerment of local communities, Base Bahay engages implementing partners, local farmers, and community workers in the whole value chain, from the sourcing of bamboo as raw materials, to its treatment and fabrication, up to the construction of their own homes, providing them with intensive skills training and national certification that they can use for future livelihood opportunities.
The local farmers are trained how to harvest sustainably to make sure that we don't deplete the supply of bamboo. They're also trained in proper treatment and cleaning of the bamboo poles. So at the end of the day, they come up with a structural grade bamboo that we can use for socialized housing. And because they've already set up their own business, this becomes a continuing livelihood for them. So it's really a business for the farmers already.
In the cement bamboo frame technology, Bamboo wall panels are prefabricated before being installed onto the concrete foundations of the houses. These are done on special fabrication tables by skilled workers specially trained in panel fabrication.
Yung pag-training natin is yung mga pwedeng beneficiary as part ng workers ng site or yung implementing partners natin, meron silang mga carpenters, sila po yung tinuturuan natin. The idea is to transfer the technology. So kailangan alam din ng technical partners natin, yung engineer on site, kung paano gawin itong panel. At the same time, kung maturuan natin yung engineer ng partner natin, sila din yung magtuturo doon sa mga tao nila.
As with every technology, constant research and innovation is key to ensuring its resilience and continuous improvement. In particular, the walls of disaster-resilient homes must be able to withstand high wind speeds and seismic activity, especially in a country frequently hit by earthquakes and typhoons.
Pag tama ng ondoy, ang bahay namin tumagilid. Gawa kasi sa kahoy yun, halos matumba na. May hollow blocks na ganito kataas, pero isang hilera lang yun. Yun lang ang natira. Lawanit lang yung dingding namin, tagpi-tagping lawanit lang yun eh.
The cement bamboo frame technology is constantly tested for resistance to earthquake, typhoon, fire, and insect infestation. Certified by the Accreditation of Innovative Technologies for Housing or ITEC, this prefabricated frame system has been proven to provide local communities with affordable, safe, and sturdy homes.
Nung nakita ko tong sabi ko, ang galing. Yung mga kawayan kasi magkakakarugtong sila, magkakaklam lahat ng mga kawayan. Kahit sa lindol siguro hindi tatablan yan eh. Nung dumating naman si Bagyong Ulysses, kampante na kami na hindi na kami bababahain. Hindi kami natatakot na masira ng bagyo yan. Dahil sa tingin namin matibay talaga ang pagkakagawa. Nakakatulong na kami na mahimbing.
But with ever-changing weather patterns brought about by climate change, constant innovation and improvements are needed to further raise the standards of alternative building materials.
We are finishing the setup of our reaction frame. So you can test a wall to check what is the resistance for an earthquake or for a typhoon. For the reaction frame that we have right now, we have just monolithic or static jack. So we're planning to get dynamic jack, or the dynamic actuator is how it's called. So with that dynamic actuator, you can see like the movement of an earthquake or things like that in a wall.
Having established 10 cement bamboo communities all over the country, Base Bahay is committed to changing mindsets on the viability of bamboo as a construction material. Through the Base Innovation Center Model House, Base Bahay hopes to showcase the strength of bamboo and how this all comes together as a disaster-resilient home with a cement bamboo frame technology.
People regard bamboo as a poor man's product or a poor man's lumber. So when people initially hear that you're going to build them a cement bamboo house, they say, no, I don't want a bahay kubo because it's going to fly in the next typhoon. But what we assure them is that this is not your typical bahay kubo. When bamboo is used to its fullest potential, it's flexible, it's a very strong material. And this Innovation Center is going to show people that we've tested, we've researched on the material, because what we want to come out with is a house that is of very high quality.
Maluwag, maginhawa, yung ventilation magandang ventilation, maraming halaman. Personally, kung nire-recommend talaga na gumawa ng mga pabahay na gawa sa bamboo, unang-una nakakatulong to sa environment natin. Mas matibay din, tsaka healthy living. Dahil nakaka-absorb ng init. Sobrang saya dahil sobrang kampante.
Beyond replacing conventional materials, Base Bahay's sustainable housing technology also takes into consideration new materials and designs more aptly suited to the cultural and geographical needs of local communities.
Nepal is our first international project, so it's a big challenge. Culturally, it's completely different. They are a mountain country, we are an archipelago country, and the bamboo species are also different there. What we did was adjust the technology that we have here in the Philippines to the Nepali context.
Since the cement bamboo frame technology is also quite versatile, we are able to adapt or adjust the design depending on the different cultural practices as well in Nepal and the different ways that they use their house or their space at home. It's really involving them, and when they're involved in the design of their houses, we know that this is something that they will definitely use.
Isa sa mga innovation na ginawa natin doon sa Nepal is yung paggamit ng flattened bamboo. So in dialect, natawag natin itong tad-tad or sa-sa. Yung purpose nito is para ma-maximize mismo yung paggamit ng kawayan instead yung paggamit ng metal mesh. kasi itong mga materials na to is imported. At the same time, pinaka-purpose din natin dito, magkaroon din ng additional na livelihood doon sa ating mga farmers.
At a time when climate, health, social, and economic problems are rapidly accelerating, short-term reactions are no longer enough. Continuous research and innovation is important to address the needs of changing times. This is what the BASE Innovation Center hopes to achieve. More than providing sustainable homes, the center aims to innovate better and more sustainable futures.
BASE will continue to put a lot of emphasis on research. This is the only way we can make sure that the technology that we are bringing out there is safe, durable, and of very high quality. We are encouraging different partners to come and support us. We'd like to be able to learn from the different technologies that they're also working with, whether here and abroad. We're looking at really working with different people who can bring in also their expertise so that we can come up with continuous improvement of the technology.
Our vision is to put BASE Innovation Center as a premier research and training center for alternative building construction materials and construction technologies. We would like to scale up our partnership with universities, research institutes around the world. We would like to expand our partnership with different stakeholders, including the local government unit, and further lead to the adoption of these technologies as part of the social housing.
But it's not enough that we have a technology. How will this technology be adapted in the communities that we serve? What we look for in BASE is building better today so that the lives of the people improve tomorrow.
From optimizing treatment solutions to producing treated poles. From new techniques to sustainable homes. From model houses to built communities. The BASE Innovation Center is another step towards BASE Bahay's goal of innovating sustainable futures today.
If you like this short video and find it very informative, BASE Bahay Foundation, together with our partners in both government and non-government sectors, have already produced 10 communities with already more than 800 cement bamboo frame houses all over the Philippines, and not yet including our international project in Nepal, supporting more than 800 families or 4,000 individuals. We would like to continue innovating and developing these green and affordable housing technologies with our partners. With this launching of BASE Innovation Center, we hope to expand the reach of our efforts and further innovation, research, and training in the country, especially on the topics of green materials like bamboo and other alternative and sustainable construction technologies. We have the venue and we would like to share it with you. We have already opened our doors to universities, research institutions, and other technology and innovation centers, both here in the Philippines and abroad, like Europe, Asia, and the Americas. So, exactly what can we do in the BASE Innovation Center? For that, our head of technology and our resident expert from Colombia, Luis Felipe Lopez, will take you on an online tour of our facility and what's in it.
Hello everyone and welcome to the BASE Bahay Innovation Center. I'm Luis Felipe Lopez, Head of Technology at BASE Bahay Foundation. We are located in Makati City and Metro Manila in the Philippines. The BASE Bahay Innovation Center is a laboratory that wants to promote the use of bamboo as construction material. But not only the bamboo, we also want to work with more sustainable materials to find solutions that can be used for the social sector housing, not only in the Philippines, as well in other countries around the world. So let's come and visit our innovation center. I want to show you what is inside the BASE Bahay Innovation Center. Let's go. Here we are outside of our laboratory. So inside this laboratory, we have an universal testing machine that allows us to make different kind of tests. And also we have a control environment inside the room. So it's an aircon and humidity control environment for the test. So let's go inside and see what we have here. So here we are inside the laboratory. This is our universal testing machine. It's a Shimadzu machine with 10 tons capacity in compression and also in tension. So this machine allows us to make different kind of tests. For example, we can test resistant to compression, to tension, bending. Right now, what we're looking here is a bending test. This kind of test allow us to understand the behavior of bamboo beams. So when we have, for example, a floor, so we need to understand what is the resistance of the beams that support the loads and the weights on top of that floor. So this bamboo here is being tested by our engineers, and we are determining modulus of rupture and as well modulus of elasticity. So with this machine is very versatile, so also allows us to test connections and different parts of the structures. Also, we have this oven here that allow us to determine the moisture content of our specimens. So here we can determine the mechanical properties of many bamboo species around the whole Philippines. So here we are ready to test this bamboo beam. We are now applying a load of this bamboo in bending. So the bamboo, as you can see, has two supports in each end. The support is made through these belts that allow us to apply a better distributed load in the bamboo and avoid the cracking during the crush. Also, we have these devices called LVDTs that allow us to determine the deformation of the movement of the bamboo during the test. So we have 3 LVDTs, one in each end of the bamboo, and we have another LVDT in the center to determine or to measure the deflection of the beam during the test. So these are the points of application of load, and the machine, it will apply the load vertically until we get the failure. So I invite you to see the test. It will take a few minutes. So you can see the deformation and also the kind of failure that this bamboo will have. This specimen was able to resist a load around 700 kilograms. The test was made using the ISO standard, the ISO 22157, that is the standard for mechanical properties test. So the load that a bamboo can resist depends on the test that you made. For example, if we are doing a test in compression, like a column, that bamboo can resist 12, 15 tons. So it depends on the weight that you apply the load is the resistance that you get, because it's not the same to test a compression column that tests a beam. So it depends of the way that you apply the load. So now let's go to another place. I want to show you another of our devices here in the BASE Innovation Center. So here we are in the reaction frame. The reaction frame is a device made in steel, very strong, that allow us to test different components of the house, especially walls. So in our system, or the cement bamboo frame system that we use here in BASE Baha'i, the walls are the structure of the house. The walls are responsible to resist the gravitational loads as well as the lateral loads due typhoon or an earthquake. So we need to understand what is the capacity of the walls to resist lateral loads. So this device allows us to make those tests. So we can place a bamboo wall on top of this, in the middle of this frame, and apply a load using a jack or a dynamic actuator that allow us to simulate a dynamic loads like an earthquake or even a typhoon pressure. So also in this reaction frame we can test trusses, connections, and big format elements as columns and long columns or other kind of walls. So we are going to test many configurations of walls, trying to find the most optimal configuration that allow us to make the cheaper houses and also to make the most resistant solution for not only for the Filipinos, also for other countries. This is our construction model house. It's a full-scale model house, partially built intentionally. The idea is to show the people that came to the laboratory all the possibilities of the system. We have different kind of claddings, we have different kind of walls, so that allow us to show different possibilities to be applied in different contexts or in different countries. So we also can use this model house to test new components, new ideas that can be implemented in scale production in our social housing projects all around the Philippines or even in other countries. So as you can see, for example, here we have only the frame of the wall, neither the cladding or the plaster, but if we can move here, you can see this bamboo wall already is covering using flattened bamboo and chicken mesh. And the other half of the wall is already with the finishing using the cement plaster. So you can see different parts of the house in the process of construction, so allow our visitors to understand not only the system itself, if not the way that the houses has been built. Now I want to show you the final stage of our innovation center. So it's the prefabrication area. So let's come here and see. So these tables that you can see here are the tables that are used to fabricate bamboo panels. So we fabricate the panels here, panels that we can use in the reaction frame if we are going to test resistance, or we can use in the model house as well for construction. So we can use these panel fabrication tables to train new carpenters how to use this technology. We can train even engineers, architects, understanding the way that the walls need to be built. So it's more a training device than a research device. So allow us to train new people in the use of the technology. So for example, we have here one bamboo wall. So this is just a sample to explain the people the components of the system. So we have a frame made of bamboo covered by flattened bamboo, chicken mesh, and cement plaster here. So this small specimen is used to teach the people how to use the technology. Finally, I want to invite you to our training room. It's the room where we can conduct all the courses, training, and workshops. So let's go and see our training room. So here we are in our training room. This is a classroom with 100 students capacity where we can make workshops, virtual workshops, physical workshops, trainings for architects, for engineers, for carpenters, for all the people that want to learn how to build using bamboo. So we have all these facilities ready for the work of students, engineers, and architects. We want to work with different universities here in the country, also with associations of architectural professionals or also engineers. So the aim of the Base Baja Innovation Center is not only the promotion, it's the development of new technologies for bamboo construction around the world. So I hope you enjoyed the virtual tour in our Base Innovation Center. So I want to invite you to come to visit us to see what we can make together, we can create incredible developments for the social housing sector in the Philippines using natural resources as structural materials. So let's come to visit us. We are happy to receive you here in the BASE Innovation Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis, for that amazing tour of the BASE Innovation Center. I hope it got our viewers more excited about all the possibilities inside the BASE Innovation Center. None of this would have been possible if not for the Hilti Foundation. It was actually the Hilti Foundation who initiated the research and development of the cement bamboo frame technology in the Philippines. The Hilti Foundation has been there since the very beginning, from research to test houses, from model houses to build communities, from optimization to innovation. Hilti Foundation has been on a mission to provide affordable, disaster-resilient, and scalable housing technologies, especially for social housing sector. And to know more about the vision of the Hilti Foundation for the BASE Innovation Center, the role of the research and development in providing disaster-resilient homes, plans for scaling up bamboo construction, and the role of partnership, let's hear a discussion right from Liechtenstein as our colleagues from the Hilti Foundation, led by Johan Barr, talk about how these values are at the very core of the Hilti company.
Thank you, Joseph. Hello and magandang araw from Liechtenstein. My name is Johan Barr. I'm a member of the executive board of the Hilti Foundation and in charge of our affordable housing portfolio. It is an exciting step for us at the Hilti Foundation to launch the BASE Innovation Center in Manila, and in doing so, to bring our focus on technologies for better and safer homes for families in need to a new level. I'm very pleased that I have 3 colleagues with me who would like to share some of their thoughts and the best wishes for the opening of the Innovation Center. Michel Frey Hilti represents the founding family on our board. Marco Meyrad served for many years on the executive board of the Hilti Group and is president of the Hilti Foundation. And Werner Wallner has served for many years on the Hilti Group management team and is the Hilti Foundation CEO. Michel, you have visited the Philippines and the BASE project several times. As a family and as a board member of the foundation, what raised your interest in affordable housing and bamboo as a building material?
In fact, it was the PhD of a Hilti engineer that made us start this adventure almost 10 years ago. In her thesis, she developed concepts to use bamboo as the sole structural element to build disaster-resistant and affordable homes for families in need. As a company related to the construction industry, this obviously triggered the excitement of everyone at Hilti. So we decided to support a test project in the Philippines. The results were promising. In terms of affordability, the feedback of families who moved into the houses, and with regards to disaster resistance, and what better place could be there than the Philippines to test that. Today, the BASE Baha'i Foundation has completed more than 800 homes across the country. It is an exciting step to launch this innovation center. It will serve as a strong foundation to continuously improving the bamboo technology. And what excites me the most, it will provide us with the chance to offer testing and research opportunities also to other organizations in the affordable housing field who want to improve their own products and technologies that help provide safe places to live for people in need.
Thank you, Michel. It is exciting for us indeed that the Innovation Center can drive improved technologies for bamboo construction and at the same time may open its doors in the future also for other alternative building materials. Marco, you served for many years on the executive board of the Hilti Group, which spends a considerable share of its budget on R&D. Is a non-profit R&D center comparable to the Hilti Innovation Centers, or are those two completely different things?
Look, especially in this part of the world, the Philippines, natural disasters are among the biggest threats for families without a proper house. Over the last decade, close to 350,000 people died in Asia and over 1.7 billion were affected by natural disasters. Total damages were valued at almost 500 billion US dollars. And these numbers do not yet count the economic pushback that is caused by such disasters. At Hilti, we are convinced that typhoons and earthquakes do not need to kill people, because mostly it is bad construction that does. That is why the Hilti Group invests in extensive research, for example, in disaster-resistant anchors and fastening or seismic designs. We run our own research and development testing centers in Europe, North America, and Asia. We also work closely with partners in leading universities and engineering research labs around the world to tackle the challenging technical problems. This expertise is then incorporated into our products for faster, safer, and more daring builds. What the BASE Innovation Center does is basically the same thing. They respond with research and development to the specific needs of builders on site, create better tools and applications, improve the use of materials, and review processes in terms of their efficiency. For this purpose, they collaborate with leading universities and research centers worldwide. While the BASE team pursues these activities in a low-cost environment, the Hilti Group operates in the more developed market segments. But why should low-cost environments with their specific context and requirements receive less attention than the high-end markets? This is the key reason for me why the BASE Innovation Center proves so relevant and is very much needed.
Given these similarities, Marco, will there be collaboration between the Hilti Innovation Centers and the BASE Innovation Center in Manila?
This is happening already. In fact, even before we started to think about the BASE Innovation Center, a continuous focus on research and development has been part of the BASE Baha'i Foundation's mandate. So, also in the past, there has been an ongoing exchange between our research engineers at Hilti and Luis Felipe Lopez, the BASE head of technology, and his team in Manila. With this great and exciting opening today, we take this engagement to a completely new level. To give you an example, a team from our Hilti plant in Austria has been working with the BASE team in Manila over the past couple of months to make construction on site in the Philippines more intuitive, more efficient, and faster. Because saving time on site makes our bamboo homes more affordable. Among other things, the two teams developed a tool to standardize the cutting of bamboo and timber on site, and thus save valuable time in the prefabrication of the bamboo walls. Obviously, all of this needed to happen online in these strange times, so the work process was documented on video in the Philippines, sent to the team in Austria, discussed and tested there. A prototype was videotaped and sent back to Manila. Finally, discussed by video conference. For me, this is proof that our research engineers are not only connected by comparable working styles and mandates, but that they share a strong culture of collaboration, which is so important for us at Hilti.
Werner, as CEO of the Hilti Foundation, you've had a strong impact on the strategic development. We claim that we invest in impact at scale to reach as many people in need as possible. 800 homes in the Philippines that have been built by the Base Bahay Foundation and its partners is an impressive number. But is this the scale we really pursue as a foundation?
The answer is yes and no. 800 homes that have withstood numerous earthquakes and typhoons and serve approximately 4,000 people owning a safe place to call home is a strong achievement, especially when you include additional project outcomes such as hundreds of sustainable jobs that have been created along the bamboo value chain and in construction. Or when you look at the lower CO2 emissions that our bamboo homes have as compared to conventional construction. But honestly, at the Hilti Foundation, we believe this is just the starting point. As a private foundation, we are prepared to take calculated risk in investing into new technologies. And when we achieve a proof of concept, we try to bring them to scale. With its 800 homes, the BASE team has achieved such proof of concept, and the Innovation Center provides all it takes to make construction at large scale possible. Continuous innovation will make sure that we offer a leading technology in the market, while accredited training programs enable NGOs, builders, contractors, and governments to use the technology in the best possible manner. Only 2 years ago, we started a cooperation with Habitat for Humanity to build 10,000 homes in the Negros Occidental province of the Philippines. And in doing so, to create a visible example that bamboo homes can be built at a large scale. And I'm confident that partnerships for large-scale construction with other partners will follow track. What excites me even more is that, again, with Habitat for Humanity, we've also started the rollout of our technology to Nepal as a first test case to apply cement bamboo frame technology outside the Philippines.
Michel, I understand the scale perspective, but would you believe a technology alone, a simple house, can create social change, even if applied at a large scale?
Thanks, Johan. For me and my family, it has always been the priority to create tangible impact for those people who need support the most, and to make our projects serve as a basis to enter a new path in life. A safe place to call home certainly represents such a strong foundation. And at the same time, we know from experience that in many cases, a new house will not be sufficient to lift people out of poverty. That is why I'm very glad that our project in Negros Occidental does not only serve as an example for building homes at a large scale, but also focuses on impact and social development from a wider perspective, including employment, education, and good governance.
That is very true, Michel. You are highlighting one aspect that is important for us as at the foundation indeed. And that is the power of collaboration. At the Hilti Foundation, we are convinced that there is no organization that can save the world by its own means. The challenges we face in development contexts are complex and require complex answers. That is why it is important for us to bring together coalitions of partners, both from the non-profit world and business and government, in order to find convincing and sustainable solutions on a broad scale. Our collaboration with Habitat for Humanity in Negros Occidental is the best example. With all levels of government, local, national, and international NGOs, leading enterprises like Arup and many others, we take a holistic approach to social development. Beyond the construction of homes, we integrate aspects of social and economic development to the project, so we can serve families in our communities with more and better opportunities to take life into their own hands.
Thank you, Michel. Thank you, gentlemen. I believe this has been a perfect final statement. Let me say thank you on behalf of everyone at the Hilti Foundation to the BASE team who does such excellent work, and to all the partners that have supported our endeavors over the past 10 years. As Werner said, this has been a starting point, and we look forward to creating more sustainable change through safe and affordable homes in the future. With this, I pass back the word to Joseph.
Thank you very much, Johan. You're a big part of why Base Bahay can continue with its mission of providing sustainable housing, especially to those in need, and why we have reached this milestone today. As a technology partner, Base Bahay works with a network of partners that can bring sustainable technologies to scale. We are able to do this by reaching out to other NGOs, LGUs, and private entities. We will not be able to achieve our aim of addressing the housing gap either without the help from our partners. So to our partners, thank you for your continued support to our shared goal. It is our honor to have with you as today as we launch the BASE Innovation Center. Let's now watch the messages from our partners.
Resilience, inclusive, sustainable, and empowerment are programmatic aspects Habitat for Humanity Philippines aim to implement in every community we build. We are grateful and blessed to share the same values and vision with partners like Hilti Foundation and BASE. Through their partnership under the Negros Occidental Impact 2025, we aim to build 10,000 sustainable, disaster-resilient homes in the province using the cemented bamboo frame technology. With the launch of the BASE Innovation Center, we are optimistic that more Filipino families will be supported and provided access to affordable housing innovations. Congratulations on this milestone. This is a testament to the organization's long-term commitment to provide housing solutions through alternative construction technologies. With sustainability and innovation, together we rise to transform lives.
Good morning. In behalf of the Don Antonio O. Florendo Senior Foundation, I would like to extend our warmest congratulations to the Bamboo Innovation Center. As partners, we share the same advocacy, which is community building. Your commitment to innovation, continuous research will further develop the bamboo industry. Our founder, Don Antonio Florendo Sr., believes that social responsibility is a vocation which entails more than just effort but goodwill. Again, congratulations, and we wish you more success. Daghang salamat. Thank you.
I'm so happy to know that finally Base Bahay is starting the BASE Innovation Center, or BIC, which aims to be the premier research initiative and testing center for sustainable construction using bamboo and other materials. Together with the rest of the Vincentian Foundation, I'd like to congratulate Team BPI. May God bless you with success and bestow you with His choicest blessings. Once again, congratulations.
Hello, I'm Inger Ekeland, and I'm standing in the front of a beautiful children's home here in Nasugbu, Batangas. This complex with 4 buildings is developed by Base Bahay, and they have done a great job. And even more fantastic thing is coming up here in the south. They will build 30 building units, 15 duplex houses for us for free. And we are so very, very thankful for everything they have done and what they're still contributing to us. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, greetings from Norway. Congratulations on the opening of your new innovation center, and on behalf of the 4P Foundation I want to thank you so much for cooperation, for generosity, and for everything you do for the people in need. Ingat!
Hi there, Base Bahay team. We at Hinluan Foundation want to give you a really warm congratulations for the super exciting Base Innovation Center. We're so excited to see and apply your innovations in our bamboo processing and treatment facility in Bukidnon.
Congratulations, Base Bahay, on launching your Base Innovation Center. From Ray and Amy Villanueva here at Kuwang Collective in Negros Oriental.
As a supply partner, we share in the vision of elevating bamboo in the Philippines. We look forward to partnering with you more in this important research that will result in resilient bamboo buildings. So congratulations, and we look forward to working with you.
Hello, I'm David Trujillo, Assistant Professor at Coventry University, and I wish to congratulate Base Bahay for the Innovation Center. I have been researching into the structural use of bamboo for over 20 years, and I can confidently say this is a very welcome and novel asset in the field. I really look forward and I'm very excited about working with Base Bahay, and I think this project will flourish and have a great success. Congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the Hilti Foundation and, of course, to all our partners. Thank you for your very kind words and messages of congratulations. You know, all these would not have been possible without all your support. And we very much look forward to working with you and even a wider network of partners through the coming years. So again, thank you. So now let's move on to the panel discussion. So the panel discussion and the open forum. I'd like to start off with introducing the members of our panel today. So first we have Engineer Luis Felipe Lopez. Luis is the head of technology for BASE and has been living in the Philippines for the last 7 years. He's a native of Colombia, and Luis has spent most of his career working with bamboo structures through research and actual implementation of the different bamboo technologies. We also have Dr. Pablo Jorillo, General Manager of Base Bahay Foundation. Pablo holds a PhD in structural engineering, and has vast experience in different aspects of building and construction. And joining us from Switzerland, we'd also like to welcome Dr. Corina Salzer, who is currently the Head of Regulation and Approvals for the Hilti Group, as well as a member of the Board of Trustees of Base Bahay Foundation. It was actually her master thesis that this project in the Philippines first began. So having lived in the Philippines and Singapore for many years, Corina is very well versed with the challenges that we experience when it comes to affordable housing and socialized housing. And joining us from Liechtenstein is Mr. Johan Barr, Director for Affordable Housing and Technologies for the Hilti Foundation, and he's also a member of the Board of Trustees for the Base Bahay Foundation. Now we'd like to call on Corina Salzer to tell you more about how BASE first began, so the history of BASE and why we're all here today. Corina?
Yes, thank you very much, Maricen, and warm welcome to everybody listening today from my side. Obviously, I am closely connected to the topic as Maricen has introduced, so I'm still getting chills today, even though I'm fully back in my corporate function when I listen to where BASE stands today. It's really exciting, and my warm congrats also to that moment today. Let me go to the starting points. Myself being a passionate civil engineer, having joined Hilti as a research engineer because I really believed in the power of innovation through research and development. I'd like to highlight that actually the starting point was not a technical one. The starting point of how BASE got initiated was a need. And I think that should and is always the starting point, the need voiced out by people. And that was very visible in the Philippines. So the story of BASE, as we have heard before from the board of directors, is a story of partnership addressing complexities of a complicated need. It was not to artificially simplify it or just follow our technical passion, make it a pure technical topic. It was, listening, learning, understanding how we can contribute and how others can contribute and facilitate bringing people together. So on that journey, we've spent a lot of time in the informal settlements with the people that actually express their need, because that is what really needs to be understood. But also with regulating bodies, for example, on the governance side, what are the requirements that need to be fulfilled to address the social housing problem, as well as, of course, with pressing societal needs on the environmental side, on the economic side, on social aspects. So all of that was brought together as a motivation to start with. And we looked at the Philippines because Philippines are very complicated and their needs are very challenging to address. So we felt inspired that joining force here can leave a real impact. And on that journey, we looked for people that bring the motivation and the contribution to address this complexity. And we found Luis Lopez in Latin America. And his research and his passion to give bamboo an engineering approach and bring it to a new level, to a level playing field, if you may so, was exactly what we were looking for on the technical dimension. Because bamboo as a raw material was available, but it was not in a frame that it would perform reliable. And we've heard today from Marco Merat saying that it's system performance that matters. And that is exactly what the kind of research that Luis initiated in his home country, Colombia, enabled. And of course, we continued our search, and we're very glad that he came over to the Philippines with his family, and we found further partners in the Philippines, courageous, committed Filipinas and Filipinos, because you have to have a courage if you want to go on a new path. Yes, it's not the default way of your career, if you may say, but you can really advance and shape. And I think what inspires me until today is the heritage this material has in the Philippines, and how Filipinos, Filipinas connect this material to ancient sayings, for example, Malakas and Maganda, the beautiful and the strong, the first woman and man coming out of a bamboo culm, and use their competence, their education to contribute in that approach to establish a level playing field for structural bamboo in the Philippines, addressing a need. We found partners that had their competence in accessing funding for social housing, finding land. That was all very complicated topics, and we said only joining forces we will be successful. And also there we needed partners that had courage, but also trust in research and development, that this is not playing with people's lives, but built on a very solid foundation. And I think that was a breakthrough. We all know about the advantages bamboo has on environmental dimension, and we work, by the way, quite hard to quantify them. But it's really also to bring it to a new level on the technical dimension. And I'm so glad that together with university partners, together with implementation partners, with supply partners, we made such a progress here. And it was very adventurous, I can say, because the mandate we got from the Hilti Foundation Board was to make sure this is really what people want. So continuous acceptance tests with the clients, if you shall say, no matter what, that these clients here are from low income groups, but clients we cater to with all the best of our knowledge, and making sure that the standards are met, the benchmark of quality that we set, and no matter what, which income group. So that is a bit about the journey, and we've gone through exciting phases. We've built full-scale test houses in a very typhoon-prone area, for example, to confirm how they would perform over time. And I remember the tension that was there after the first houses actually had hit our test houses, and the strong impact it had in the community around, but of course also for us, when we confirmed that our houses were perfectly all right with those extreme impacts. And we knew from Colombia, again, from Luis, your research and the research of colleagues there on the strong performance in earthquakes and seismic. So this combination really is very attractive to face the needs, the design needs that exist in the Philippines. Today, we have a reproducible approach, yes, that allows us to design as per the need of the specific location to really address what government authorities need to know so that they can approve this technology, and funding agencies can give house funding because they know that this house will sustain over time. So that's a few reflections from the early starting points of BASE. That said, of course, we have advanced so much with the Innovation Center now, and I would just like to give as a last thought that this journey continues. Yes, we've done a lot, but if you think about how long we study, and until today we study concrete, for example, there is so much more for us to go on that journey. Yes, and I'm sure with the innovation approach that we are having, with the contribution of people that are really committed to change something for their country, with the intention to use this material, we will advance and advance. And the partnerships are the key to success, because that will allow us to implement, reach scale, address the very most vulnerable parts of the society, and leave a lasting impact. So I'm very proud to be here with you today. I'm proud to work for Hilti, to be honest, because I think also that the persistence, allowing something to grow, has been there. I'm fully standing behind the values that BASE represents today, and it is excited to see this situation today and see you being joined by like-minded partners, making it grow and grow. That is exciting for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karina. It's really great to see the passion and the commitment that Karina has for all our projects. She mentioned earlier the tension when our houses were first about to be hit by a typhoon. Well, the tension was also because Karina hopped on the first bus to Bicol to make sure she was there when the typhoon hit. So that's how committed she is to the projects. And despite her hectic schedule in the Hilti group now, she continues to support us in all our endeavors. So thank you very much for that, Karina. And now to tell you more about the Hilti Foundation and the projects that it supports all over the world, I'd like to call on Johan Barr. Johan?
Thank you, Maricen. Karina, it's always great to hear about the early stories of BASE and the adventures that you made in the Philippines. It feels strange for this year that I have not been able to visit what is for more than a year, actually. And it's very relieving to know that the work of BASE is in such capable hands. A warm welcome again from Liechtenstein. On behalf of the Foundation, let me express again our excitement that the Innovation Center is being launched today. The BASE Baha'i Foundation has been central to our development as a foundation and in our program field affordable housing in so many ways. And the opening of the Innovation Center today opens new doors for our future engagements in realizing social change through better and safer housing technologies, which we support not only in the Philippines, but in programs across the global south. The BASE Innovation Center will take a key role in these endeavors. So before we start our discussion, let me share a few more details about the Hilti Foundation and what we do beyond housing and how many of these activities connect again to the communities with whom we work here in the Philippines. The Hilti Foundation is a shared initiative of the Hilti family and the Hilti Group, a Liechtenstein-based multinational company related to the construction industry. Our work is organized in 3 main program areas. Besides affordable housing and technology, this includes music for social change and economic empowerment. And basically, like affordable housing, our music programs have a long history within the Hilti Foundation and have developed into a strong set of systematic programs over the years. They are based on our strong belief in the potential of music as an instrument to open the way for a young generation into a self-determined future. To implement and to foster this idea, we support the founding and development of music programs worldwide that take this particular approach of teaching. And in doing so, we seek to empower an important number of children and young people to make conscious life choices and become independent, responsible, and decisive members of society. Particular focus of these programs lie in Latin America, and especially with a young population who live in informal settlements and who have what we call disadvantaged backgrounds. What I find especially exciting, and actually that's a cornerstone of our work in the music field, is that also just last year, not this year, it's 2021 already, we opened AIM, the Academy for Impact Through Music. The Academy serves as a pioneering initiative that substantially improves and elevates the teaching workforce in the Music for Social Change community. So it connects pedagogics and the arts in very inclusive and integrating manner. The other program field, economic empowerment, that's where we drive projects to empower more than 200,000 people in East Africa to escape poverty by their own efforts. For this purpose, we run a decentralized training and business coaching model that turns self-subsistence business into small and medium-sized enterprises, which sustainably invest, grow, create new jobs, and as such contribute to a working and successful economy. So, in how far would these program areas connect to our work in affordable housing and the Philippines? And that was my starting point earlier. For me, that is because as a foundation, we believe in holistic social development. As was mentioned before, more often than not, housing technology alone will not be sufficient to empower families to start into a better life, nor will a music program or a business coaching model alone. At the Hilti Foundation, we are convinced that only if we apply a wide perspective to development and our programs, we really can make a difference for families and drive change in a sustainable manner. That is why I'm excited that we are starting to explore in how far our programs, both in the Music for Social Change sector and in economic empowerment, can be extended to the Philippines and offer development opportunities for the communities which are supported with homes by the Base Bahay Foundation and its partners. Mostly, this will be connected to our initiative with Habitat for Humanity in Negros Occidental, where we use the cement bamboo frame technology to build 10,000 homes. Beyond the construction of homes, the initiative has formed a coalition of partners to take this wide perspective to development, which I mentioned, and we look forward to integrating our work beyond housing into this project. So as a conclusion, let me repeat that the BASE Innovation Center will not only work with a strong set of academic partners and implementing partners, but is embedded in a portfolio of projects and initiatives that drive social change. This is what the Hilti Foundation understands as its mandate, and I look forward to driving this work together with the BASE team in Manila and with all our partners. And I also look forward to discussing these aspects with you in the question and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johan. Before the pandemic began, I think Johan spent more time in the Philippines than he did in Europe. So that's how committed he is in order to understand better what the challenges are on the ground. So thank you. We're actually now ready to take your questions, and our team backstage has written down some of your questions. So for the first question, and this goes to Luis Lopez. Does the bamboo undergo treatment before being tested in the laboratory? Luis?
Hello. Thank you, Maricen. So yes, a very good question. When you are researching, you can make two things. You can research treated bamboo, but other time you can research untreated bamboo. It depends what are the objectives of your research. So in general, most of the bamboo that we use here in the laboratory is treated because we want to know the properties of the treated poles. But again, for some specific research, you need to use untreated poles.
Okay, so we use both treated and untreated poles depending on what the research is. The next question, we can take the next question from the second question, please. From Mac Evangelista. How can individuals and organizations join the training and the workshops? So I think, Pablo, I think you'd be best able to answer this question.
Very interesting question. Thank you, Mac, for the question. This year, we will launch the CPD, or Continuing Professional Education Training Program, or CPD, for architects, engineers, related to bamboo construction, design, and the methodology used on site. And we will extend this to all the professional. Our objective here is to increase awareness in the engineering community, also greater adoption of the technology, especially of the cement bamboo frame technology in houses, for either for social housing projects or community centers, etc. Also, we are extending our training program not only at the professional level, we are also coming up with training programs for builders, for workers, to teach them and make them knowledgeable on the construction process and how to build these houses. Please take note, this technology that we have built through the research of Corina and with the help of Hilti Foundation is an open technology, and it is open to all. And we would like to share that with all of you. So expect this year, we will be sending announcement for the CPD, or the Continuing Professional Education Training, and to all our partners, our revised training program to all your workers and engineers and builders.
Okay, thank you very much.
Marcin,
yes,
apologies.
Corina.
I'm just adding one sentence because something sparked my mind when Doc PJ referred to the builders. I have to say that one of the proudest moments was when our foreman actually described proudly that the group of people was walking by a house and they asked who built that, and he said it was us. So I think the builders are extremely important and we value them a lot. There is a space for architects and engineers to go on that journey, embark on that journey, for project managers, etc. But the builders are an essential component, and we are really looking forward to work with them. Thanks. Sorry.
Thank you, Corina. Actually, the third question from one of our online viewers is, are the methods you use open source? So as Pablo already answered in the previous question, he says, yes, these are open sourced, but as long as they're used as they are designed. And again, for instance, Corina mentioned that the farmers or the foremen learn how to use this construction technology. So this is a technology which is actually very replicable, so very easy to learn. And I think that's the beauty of this technology. People can use it. We'd like to move on to the fourth question from Dingo Raagas. Where are your treatment facilities located, and how can we visit these facilities? So Pablo, I think this one's for you.
Okay, thank you, Maricen. Right now, we have 5 supply and treatment facilities around the Philippines. The nearest in Manila is in Nasugbu, Batangas, run by the Rojas Foundation. The second one is in the Visayas region, in Dumaguete, with the Kawayan Collective and Mursha in Iloilo. The fourth one is in Bukidnon in Mindanao, run by Hinileban Foundation. Now we're opening the fifth supply and treatment bamboo treatment facilities in Davao through the Tadeco and the Florendo Foundation. These 5 facilities supplies the bamboo in all our projects, and they are also expanding their market for the bamboos for other uses in their localities. If you're interested to know more about where are these treatment facilities, you can visit us at our website, or you can directly contact us after this presentation.
Thank you.
Dr. PJ, if I may add to this, I think it's also very exciting that last year, basically, we took the first step into another country in Nepal, where we also start to work with treatment centers and set up a value chain, start to work with builders and basically test in how far bamboo treatment and the construction of homes can be implemented in a different country. So again, it's the Philippines is our focus, but we are very excited to also look into other countries in treatment and in construction.
Nice. Thank you, Johan. I forgot that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Pablo and Johan. Also to add, actually, the treatment and supply facilities have different models. Some of them are run by foundations. The others are run by very young entrepreneurs or social entrepreneurs. But Mursha, which is in Negros Occidental, is run by a group of farmers that we first started with in terms of really just harvesting of bamboo. But now, like we said, livelihood, economic empowerment is also very important for us. And this has become a business or a source of livelihood for the farmers in Mursha. We trained them the proper treatment and processing of bamboo poles, and now they sell these bamboo poles to Base Bahay Foundation. And as Pablo, yes, Corina.
Just to highlight the importance of supply. Another, I'm remembering a lot of things while you're talking. You know, we always say that bamboo is available, but that doesn't mean it was accessible as we started. That is a difference. And I'm so happy to have these supply partners, because you can imagine, this is the complexity. It's not enough just to have the technical concept on how to build, but you need the structural grade raw material that really provides these properties. And it requires the partnership of people making that work on the ground. And we are very happy to actually share how to reach such a reliability in the raw material. It's super important. And now I'm proud to say that BASE has achieved with its partners that the bamboo is available and accessible.
I want to add something, Corina. You just made me remember things, but this is so important. Treatment in bamboo probably is the key in changing the mind of the people, because without a proper treatment process, the bamboo is not a permanent material. It can be eaten by insects and by fungus. So when you develop a very good treatment process, as we made here in BASE, and you work with very good partners in treatment as our partners in the provinces, you can produce a product that can last for many years, and that will switch the mind of the people, making them understand that bamboo is a material that can last for many years.
Definitely. Yes, Luis. And of course, we're also very thankful that the supply partners that we have today are all committed to making sure that they're following the process as the process is designed. So thank you very much to all our supply partners. We'd like to take on another question. This is from Pong Fernandez. Is the technology open for use by individual users? If yes, where can we procure the materials or avail of the models for individual construction? Luis, would you like to take on this question?
Right now, we have something that is open. I mean, it's not like we are hiding the technology, but we don't build for individuals. So we build for NGOs and big projects. One of the big intentions of the training center here in BASE is to train people that later on they can build by themselves, or contractors that want to learn the technology and they can do it by themselves. So that is the plan of the training center. So we will train the people that in the future will be building with this technology. But for now, BASE is focusing on the partners that we already have, big social housing projects, and here in the training center.
Yeah, and thank you, Luis. To add on that, Pong, a very nice question. The answer would be yes and no. No, because right now our focus is in building communities. You have heard that we have a housing deficit of more than 6.8 million houses just in the last 5 years. That's why our mandate right now and our focus is to build these communities and address this housing gap in the Philippines. And we can only do this through partnership with NGOs, foundations, government units, and even local government units, housing agencies, and other departments of the government. Now, yes, because just like what we have said, it's an open technology. And this year, we will be training engineers, builders, workers, so they would know how to use this technology all in the highest quality and implement it. Second, we will also implement what we called BASE accredited builder concept, wherein this accredited builder or contractors are trained to build these houses. This builder you can contact and ask them to build your house for them, them to build your house. So we look forward to the adoption of the technology also on an individual basis. The method of how to do that is in the process right now, and we will be working on that this year.
Thank you, Pablo. So to answer your question, yes and no. You can build for individual personal use once we have in play already one of the strategies, which is to teach builders, to train builders, and eventually we'll come up with a pool of accredited builders that can use the cement bamboo frame technology. The next question comes from Miss Amy of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Are you already in talks with private developers and government agencies for the massive rollout use of bamboo as a sustainable construction material? So who of our panelists would like to take this on? Pablo or Johan?
Actually, I'm suggesting Johan would be the most authoritative figure to answer this.
Thank you. Yes, the answer is yes. And at the same time, there's always space for more developments. It's we started what we call a scale perspective probably a little bit more than a year ago, and the Innovation Center is a crucial element of this strategy. And the idea was that after 5 years of maybe testing the technology, implementing it, making our experiences, we achieved what I would call a proof of concept. The families feel at home in our houses. The houses withstand natural disasters like typhoons, earthquakes, etc. And there has been very little damage to the houses. There's also no infestations. So with this proof of concept, we said we really want to go towards scale to make our technology accessible to as many people as possible. It requires that we continuously do research and improve the technology, and it requires large-scale partners like governments, like large contractors. And we started in 2019 this cooperation with Habitat for Humanity to build 10,000 homes in Negros Occidental as one province of the Philippines. And the idea is really for us to learn what it means to build at an industrial scale, and at the same time to create a visible example that that a cement bamboo frame technology can be used at such a scale. And I believe I'm not saying too much, Dr. PJ, if I say we do believe this is possible. We've made the first experiences, and we are happy to enter more partnerships in the Philippines to even build at a larger scale. We are convinced the technology can do that, and it will serve more people than we managed to help in the past.
Actually, to add to that, yes, we have coordinated with some local government units for some of our projects. We also have an accreditation for the technology. This is an accreditation from an arm of the National Housing Authority, ITEC, or the Accreditation for Innovative Technologies. So we do coordinate with some of the government agencies. We have worked with some LGUs or the local government units as well for some of our projects.
And maybe one more sentence. It will remain important for us to drive high social impact projects. So we will not only build at this very large scale, but we are still open to working with smaller NGOs and smaller projects to really meet the needs of those families that are in biggest needs.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have a question from Jonathan Mayuga of the Business Mirror. Have you addressed the book or weevils and anay or white ants problem in bamboos? So I think Luis and Pablo. Luis, you may want to start to take this question.
Yeah, definitely. Powder beetles in English are one of the big problems, ants, termites as well. So that is why we work with these facilities and we develop the system method that produce bamboos that are resistant to these insects and these threats. So our bamboo has a process where we remove the starch, that is one of the ingredients that like the bok. And after that, we apply some chemical solutions that allow us to protect these bamboos in the time. So the rate of infestation after this treatment is 0.02% of the bamboos. So meaning there's nothing that is 100% protected, but this is a very few quantity of poles that can have problems in the future. So with this system, we make these bamboos that can last for many years. Actually, our oldest house has already turned, I think, 9 years this year. So it's going to complete the decade. Can you imagine that, Corina? So when we started this project in 2012, and then the house that is turning 9 years this year is without any problem of infestation or anything like that.
Thank you very much, Luis. Do we have time for more questions? I think we may be able to take about two or three more questions. However, for those questions that we will not be able to address today, please continue to send them. We will address them offline as soon as we can. So the next question comes from Jonathan Mayuga of Business Mirror again. Using bamboo in low-cost housing units, how long can they last compared to other traditional construction materials used in housing construction? So I think Corina and Luis, one of you may want to take this technical question. Yes, Corina.
Yes, I'm very happy to comment on that because that was one of the early questions that we really faced, and it was very clear that if you want to get approval for house funding, you need to be at par. So today we can say we are at par. That said, you can always say what is actually needed for social housing, because you can also recognize that people are in a societal transformation, yes, and we actually wish them to develop and continue to develop on. So you don't need 80 years or 60 years, because anyways, it is very likely that people will have evolved their life around them in that time frame. But we confidently say that 30 years, 25, 30 years is the durability of our houses. And we have applied the scientific tests that are available, and we know that there are some limits to testing that, right? But there accelerated methods to prove how we will perform. And that's why we have a high level of confidence in the performance of our houses. Exactly. So I can summarize like that. That said, Luis, maybe you add your experience from Colombia. I think it's part of the picture.
Thank you, Corina. Yes, this is always, as Corina says, one of the big questions. So the reason there is a Colombian in the Philippines, maybe we don't tell the people before why I'm here, is because this technology is very traditional in Latin America in general, not only in Colombia, and Ecuador, and Peru, and Central America. In our region, in Colombia, in the coffee region, we have houses that has more than 200 years old. But it's called, the system there is called Bajareque, and it's a very, very, very ancient technology based in the European technology of wattle and daub, that also is from more than 400 or 500 years old. But the good news is that researching here in the Philippines, we found ancient bareque in the Philippines, and it's called tabique pampango. The tabique pampango was a technology brought from the Spaniards in the 1700 years, more or less, and they built some houses and some churches in the area of Pampanga and the area of Dumaguete as well. So we are now very excited because we found the roots of our technology also in the Philippines.
And sorry, the last comment to that, it's the ability of bamboo to sustain for that duration. But then, of course, again, it's the system to actually resist the impacts that may occur in the Philippines, which is earthquakes, typhoons, etc. And again, here we have invested a lot into research that we have a high confidence level that our houses designed to the impacts that occur in that specific region can sustain.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Corina and Luis. We have another question. This is from Amy of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. So how affordable is it compared to materials currently being used today? Who would like to take on that question? Pablo?
I'll take it on, Maricen. Yes. Amy, that's a very good question. Right now, if you would look at the way the bamboo, cement bamboo frame houses are built, the materials and the technology and how you build it, approximately you would spend about 8,000 to 9,000 pesos per square meter. So a standard 25 square meter house, one bedroom with a kitchen and a living room, and with toilet and windows and doors would cost you about 220 to 240,000 pesos. And 22 to 25 square meters is the starting size when you build houses for social housing. Now, how do you compare it with the regular construction materials? Let's say you would use hollow block and timber or cocoa lumber and the same type of roofing. You would cost about, for a similar 25 square meters, you'll spend about 450 to 500,000. So that's double in terms of the traditional material used in the construction. Again, how did we achieve the 8,000 to 9,000 per square meters? Again, it's in the design on how you build it, the structure, and then the cladding, the surfaces, and even the entire design of the roof and the entire plan of the house structure.
One sentence from my side, because that question was with us from the starting point. Obviously, economic limitations are part of that complexity. And the question was always, to where do we compare? To a well-built concrete house, maybe to something that is predominantly found at the moment in this for this income group. And we always said that our ambition level is optimization of the economic performance of the cost without constraints on the quality. So we really set the benchmark, are comparable here with well-built concrete houses, yes, because in the end, otherwise you're basically, in the end, you could compare to a shack or a tent, and obviously you cannot be cheaper than that with our quality benchmark.
Yeah, thank you, Corina, for that clarification. So again, this is the technology is compared to a very well-built conventional house, and not to the traditional bahay kubo that we normally see in many of the rural areas. So I think we have another follow-up question from Amy of the still from Amy of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, as well as from Alisa Lescano of One Mega Group. So they have a very similar question. We've put it together. Will the BASE Innovation Center also study the viability of other endemic but possibly sustainable construction materials? Are you only centered on bamboo, or are you also studying other alternative materials? So I think any one of our panel can answer that, because we know exactly what we'd want to do at the BASE Innovation Center. Who'd like to start? Maybe Johan.
I will take it.
Okay, yes,
Luis, you can start.
Okay, Luis can take it.
Yeah, definitely. We started with the material that we are working right now and the material that we are doing in our houses, but that doesn't mean the BASE Innovation Center is a research center only specialized in bamboo, and we have our doors closed for other initiatives. That is not the reality. We want to research other materials, sustainable materials, new alternatives using, I don't know, let's say a timber from a province, or somebody that makes blocks using recycled plastics and want to develop a new product for the construction. So we want to work with all those initiatives. So I want to also take advantage of this moment to invite all the people that have these ideas that came to the BASE Innovation Center. Let's work together. Let's see how we can improve the technology, how we can improve our cement bamboo frame technology, but also how we can create new components, roofing elements. We can create doors, windows that are resistant to typhoons using recycled materials, sustainable materials. So we are open, and using our capacity here in the laboratory, we will do our best to try to find the better results for products here. So we want to work with universities also that want to work in these topics. So I'm talking about universities, and now that it's finishing, I just want to say that the BASE Innovation Center has already signed multiple MOUs with universities all around the world. We have universities from UK, from US, from Hong Kong, from Malaysia. We have universities here in the Philippines. So we are working all the time with them, trying to figure out solutions for bamboo, but also looking for other products as well.
Yes, and other innovation centers here in the Philippines are approaching us and asking if we can work with them on different types of building materials. Partners like the Habitat Terwilliger Center or Linkbuild, they are approaching, or Billion Bricks, they are approaching us and suggesting different combination of materials, new green materials to be tested, to be evaluated, and definitely that's a very interesting and important route and direction for us here in the BASE Innovation Center.
Let me confirm this from the side of Hilti Foundation, and Dr. PJ and Luis and Maricen. We've discussed the way forward so many times, and I feel yes, our starting point is bamboo, and bamboo will always be very close to our heart. But as our president of the Hilti Foundation, Marco Meirat, said in his contribution earlier today, why is there being given so little attention to the low-cost environment in research? And at the Hilti Foundation, we feel we equipped a research and testing center in Manila to make affordable housing technologies better and safer and more cost-efficient, and would be a shame if this was only accessible for bamboo. So the intention is really in the mid to long term that also other organizations who want to test their technologies and their housing products that specifically target low-income families, we want to be open for them. And I think this can serve as a great contribution for more impact in this field.
Thank you very much. And there you have it. While we focus on bamboo, we are definitely open to other materials that need to be tested here at the BASE Innovation Center. I think we have time for one last question from the audience. For the last question, please. This comes from Edgardo Manda of the Bamboo Foundation. And this is directed to Luis and Pablo. Any collaboration with the Bureau of Standards and FPRDI on the test results of bamboo as a construction material? Maybe Luis and Pablo, you'd also want to talk about standards and how we have progressed in these terms. So, Luis?
Okay. Thank you, Maricen. Thank you, Edgardo Manda, for the question. Actually, very good question. So one of the limitations of these new technologies in any country around the world is that there is a lack in the standards and construction standards in all the countries. So in Colombia and also in other countries in Latin America, we have already standards for this kind of construction. But here in the Philippines, there is not yet a national building code for bamboo construction. BASE Baha'i has an ITEC accreditation that allows us to get the building permits, but our aim is to introduce the technology in the Philippine Building Code. So, and that way, we were working in the past 5 years in the ISO committee for bamboo, working with specialists from around the world, creating a standard from ISO that is in the future will be implemented here in the Philippines. So right now, ASEP, that is the Association of the Structural Engineers of the Philippines, has created a committee of engineers that will work in the adoption of this ISO standard. So we hope during this 2021, we will working in this committee. BASE Baha'i is part of the committee. So we will working with them and trying to create the best standard for the Philippines for bamboo construction.
And
want to add something?
Yeah, also just last year in 2020, Ed, you know, before the ISO, all standards are international. And just last year, through the Department of Trade and Industry, they have already adopted the 2 ISO standards and became Philippine National Standard. One of the standards is on the grading of the bamboo. And another standard, Philippine National Standard, is on the testing of the mechanical properties of bamboo culms. Now, we are already going into that direction. The next step is other ISO standards being adopted by our country and through the Philippine National Standards. And from there, going to the National Building Code, going to the Building Code, into the adoption of this alternative materials and technologies.
Thank you, Pablo. Corina, would you like to add to that, being the head of standards and approvals for the Hilti Group as well?
I actually had lost connection for a little while, so I'm not sure what Luis answered in the first place. But definitely, I mean, if you think about the importance of codes can play, I mean, you basically establish in an open sense a level playing field that defines and determines how safe construction with this material can be done. And it starts, as we have heard, from characterizing raw material, defining design rules, talking about connection designs, and so on. So I foresee that it will give a further boost if we continue that path. As we always know, developing a code is definitely not something we can drive. Providing our inputs transparently to the committees and associations that make such decisions is what our contribution can be. And of course, having researchers around the world joining, giving their assessment of the quality of knowledge that we have obtained, so that the respective committees can make decisions on a very confident level, yeah, to go down the route of bringing bamboo-based construction into codes, establishing the level playing field, making sure that people really see it for what it can be. Yes, a safe and outperforming construction material and building system.
So thank you very much, Corina. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I know that there's still questions that are unanswered, so please continue to send them through the comments section. We will answer all the questions in the comments section offline. At this point, maybe we can just hear last few words from our panelists, starting off with Luis.
I just want to say thank you very much for all the people that was connected during this Facebook Live. Thank you for the other panelists, and let's work together. And I want to take some words of Corina from the beginning when she said that from the beginning this was an adventure, but I want to say that the adventure has just begun. So there's many things that we will do in the future.
Thank you, Luis, and you will be here for the rest of the adventure and the roller coaster rides that we always have within BASE. Pablo, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Maricen. To all our viewers, to all who participated today, who sent their questions, to our panelists, Johan, Luis and Corina, and to all our partners and from Hilti Foundation who gave their messages and inputs in making this launch really worthwhile endeavor and activity for all our viewers. Thank you very much. Looking forward seeing you in our BASE Innovation Center. Please do contact us, and we will keep you updated of our initiatives and our programs and how we will roll them out this year in 2021. Thanks again.
Now I'd like to hear from Corina. Some parting words, Corina.
Yes, I'm joining in the thanks for all the curiosity and the questions. I appreciate, and I would also like to invite everyone to continue bring their questions, no matter which perspective, profession, or angle you have to the topic. All contributions will bring us further together. So let's join forces. And I wish all the best to BASE, our partners and communities in that journey. And I am very excited to observe from my corporate position how your journey will look like. It will be exciting for sure.
Thank you. Thank you again. Johan?
I would like to close with a great thanks to the entire BASE team and also to the partners of the BASE Baha'i Foundation, because it's really due to your engagement, to your curiosity, and to your knowledge and expertise that makes this journey possible. And as Luis said, the journey in a sense has just begun. At the Hilti Foundation, we're convinced that there are many more opportunities we can take, and the BASE Innovation Center will play the key role in these endeavors. I very much agree with Corina. Please continue to ask your questions, to challenge us, to inspire us. As you can see, the entire team is very open to look into new directions, find new ways in how we can make our work even better. And we enjoy the exchange with you, be it on the academic side or in practice and implementation, because what matters for us the most in the end at the Hilti Foundation is that we really serve those families that we want to serve with our mandate. Thank you, and I look forward to the next steps in our journey.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Johan. And that concludes today's event. We'd like to thank all the media that came to join us today via our Zoom. We'd also like to thank all the viewers for joining us today through FB Live. So this launch is really just the beginning of many great things to come. We look forward to working with many of you here at the Innovation Center, because we believe, as BASE, we believe that together, if we innovate and build better today, we will have a brighter and more sustainable future tomorrow. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay.
And welcome. We are very grateful that you have joined us today. For us here in Base Bahay Foundation, this is a very exciting moment because today we are opening the doors of the Base Innovation Center. Base Innovation Center, or BIC as we call them, is a scientific, creative, and industrial space that puts you alongside local and international researchers and specialists working on alternative green building materials for sustainable construction with social impact. This center is open for students, professionals, developers, entrepreneurs, startups, and academic researchers working on these fields. This is a venue for research and testing programs, as well as continuing professional education and training. Our goal is to advance bamboo-based technology and other alternative building technologies towards creation of a better sustainable future. Join me and our team in welcoming you to the new Base Innovation Center.
Since its inception, Base Bahay Foundation has been on a mission to provide alternative building technologies for sustainable, affordable, and quality homes for Filipinos. Homes that provide inclusive, disaster-resilient, and dignified living. Working closely with a network of partners, Base Bahay has developed the innovative cement bamboo frame homes for urban poor communities and disaster victims all over the country. Using bamboo technology, Base Bahay has so far helped establish 4 bamboo treatment centers and 10 cement bamboo communities. But the key to sustainable technology is constant research and innovation, training, and finding new ways to optimize the technology and designs.
Construction industry is responsible of 40% of the carbon emissions per year, and around 8 to 10% of the emissions came from only for concrete and cement industry. We are destroying our world. If we don't change the way we build, we will kill ourselves. We need to use more bamboo, we need to use more hemp to make our houses more sustainable and reduce our carbon footprint.
This urgent need for research on sustainable technologies has pushed for the creation of the Base Innovation Center. Located in Makati City, this is the first research facility for alternative building materials and technologies, especially bamboo.
There is plenty of benefits using bamboo as a structural material. It's very good for the environment. Bamboo is probably the species that grow faster in the planet. Very sustainable, so you cut it and you can use it very quickly. So you create circular economies with farmers. It's like in the middle range of between concrete and timber. So good for earthquakes and good for typhoons. And there is other more advantages like better thermal comfort inside the house, so meaning you feel more fresh in summer than if you are in a concrete house.
With the many sustainable and environmentally friendly benefits of bamboo, the BIC is committed to raising the standards of research on this valuable building material.
Topics like wind resistance, fire resistance are topics that we need to research more. Combinations of bamboo with other material like steel, concrete. You can go to research fibers, trying to create biopolymers using bamboo fiber.
Base Bahay's cement bamboo frame technology has already been proven to produce sturdy, disaster-resilient homes. But constant research on the load-bearing capacity of the many indigenous bamboo species in the country is still needed to maximize its use.
The characterization is very important because we need to know our material here. Philippines has many species of bamboo, more than 10 that can be used for construction. But if you want to know the resistance of species, you cannot find the data. So one of our objectives is to characterize all the Philippine species, so all the people in different regions can use their bamboo for construction and know what is the resistance of their species. UTM is an universal testing machine, so we can crush the bamboo in compression and determine what is the resistance. We can make tests in tension also. For example, if you are an engineer, you need to design a column, you need to know the resistance of your material, you need to know modulus of elasticity. Those are information that the engineers need to design elements. With this machine, we can produce all that information and create the standards for design with bamboo.
What interests me about bamboo is that it is a commonly used material, but it doesn't have the same popularity as the traditional construction materials, such as lumber or in steel. It is a good research to start with to help the local communities, to help the local bamboo industry, and also to promote the material. Having access to this equipment is very crucial to the study.
Committed to the empowerment of local communities, Base Bahay engages implementing partners, local farmers, and community workers in the whole value chain, from the sourcing of bamboo as raw materials, to its treatment and fabrication, up to the construction of their own homes, providing them with intensive skills training and national certification that they can use for future livelihood opportunities.
The local farmers are trained how to harvest sustainably to make sure that we don't deplete the supply of bamboo. They're also trained in proper treatment and cleaning of the bamboo poles. So at the end of the day, they come up with a structural grade bamboo that we can use for socialized housing. And because they've already set up their own business, this becomes a continuing livelihood for them. So it's really a business for the farmers already.
In the cement bamboo frame technology, bamboo wall panels are prefabricated before being installed onto the concrete foundations of the houses. These are done on special fabrication tables by skilled workers specially trained in panel fabrication.
Yung pag-training natin is yung mga pwedeng beneficiary as part ng workers ng site or yung implementing partners natin, meron silang mga carpenters. Sila po yung tinuturuan natin. The idea is to transfer the technology. So kailangan alam din ng technical partners natin, yung engineer on site, kung paano gawin itong panel. At the same time, kung maturuan natin yung engineer ng partner natin, sila din yung magtuturo doon sa mga tao nila.
As with every technology, constant research and innovation is key to ensuring its resilience and continuous improvement. In particular, the walls of disaster-resilient homes must be able to withstand high wind speeds and seismic activity, especially in a country frequently hit by earthquakes and typhoons.
Pag tama ng undoy, ang bahay namin tumagilid. Gawa kasi sa kahoy yun, halos matumba na. May hollow blocks na ganito kataas, pero isang hilera lang yun. Yun lang ang natira. Lawanit lang yung dingding namin, tagpi-tagping lawanit lang yun eh.
The cement bamboo frame technology is constantly tested for resistance to earthquake, typhoon, fire, and insect infestation. Certified by the Accreditation of Innovative Technologies for Housing or ITEC, this prefabricated frame system has been proven to provide local communities with affordable, safe, and sturdy homes.
Nung nakita ko tong sabi ko, ang galing. Yung mga kawayan kasi magkakakarugtong sila, magkakakwam lahat ng mga kawayan. Kahit sa lindol siguro hindi tatablan yan eh. Nung dumating naman si Bagyong Ulysses, kampante na kami na hindi na kami bababahain. Hindi kami natatakot na masira ng bagyo yan. Dahil sa tingin namin matibay talaga ang pagkakagawa. Nakakatulog na kami na mahimbing.
But with ever-changing weather patterns brought about by climate change, constant innovation and improvements are needed to further raise the standards of alternative building materials.
We are finishing the setup of our reaction frame. So you can test a wall to check what is the resistance for an earthquake or for a typhoon. For the reaction frame that we have right now, we have just monolithic or static jack. So we're planning to get dynamic jack, or the dynamic actuator is how it's called. So with that dynamic actuator, you can see like the movement of an earthquake or things like that in a wall.
Having established 10 cement bamboo communities all over the country, Base Bahay is committed to changing mindsets on the viability of bamboo as a construction material. Through the Base Innovation Center Model House, Base Bahay hopes to showcase the strength of bamboo and how this all comes together as a disaster-resilient home with a cement bamboo frame technology.
People regard bamboo as a poor man's product or a poor man's lumber. So when people initially hear that you're going to build them a cement bamboo house, they say, no, I don't want a bahay kubo because it's going to fly in the next typhoon. But what we assure them is that this is not your typical bahay kubo. When bamboo is used to its fullest potential. It's flexible. It's a very strong material. And this Innovation Center is going to show people that we've tested, we've researched on the material, because what we want to come out with is a house that is of very high quality.
Maluwag, maginhawa, yung ventilation maganda. Magandang ventilation, maraming halaman. Personally, kung nire-recommend talaga na gumawa ng mga pabahay na gawa sa bamboo, unang-una nakakatulong to sa environment natin. Mas matibay din, tsaka healthy living. Then nakaka-absorb ng init. Sobrang saya dahil sobrang kampante.
Beyond replacing conventional materials, Base Bahay's sustainable housing technology also takes into consideration new materials and designs more aptly suited to the cultural and geographical needs of local communities.
Nepal is our first international project, so it's a big challenge. Culturally, it's completely different. They are a mountain country, we are an archipelago country, and the bamboo species are also different there. What we did was adjust the technology that we have here in the Philippines to the Nepali context.
Since the cement bamboo frame technology is also quite versatile, we are able to adapt or adjust the design depending on the different cultural practices as well in Nepal and the different ways that they use their house or their space at home. It's really involving them, and when they're involved in the design of their houses, we know that this is something that they will definitely use.
Isa sa mga innovation na ginawa natin doon sa Nepal is yung paggamit ng flattened bamboo. So in dialect, natawag natin itong tad-tad or sa. Yung purpose nito is para ma-maximize mismo yung paggamit ng kawayan instead yung paggamit ng metal mesh. Kasi itong mga materials na ito is imported. At the same time, pinaka-purpose din natin dito, magkaroon din ng additional na livelihood doon sa ating mga farmers.
At a time when climate, health, social, and economic problems are rapidly accelerating, short-term reactions are no longer enough. Continuous research and innovation is important to address the needs of changing times. This is what the Base Innovation Center hopes to achieve. More than providing sustainable homes, the center aims to innovate better and more sustainable futures.
Base will continue to put a lot of emphasis on research. This is the only way we can make sure that the technology that we are bringing out there is safe, durable, and of very high quality. We are encouraging different partners to come and support us. We'd like to be able to learn from the different technologies that they're also working with, whether here and abroad. We're looking at really working with different people who can bring in also their expertise so that we can come up with continuous improvement of the technology.
Our vision is to put Base Innovation Center as a premier research and training center for alternative building construction materials and construction technologies. We would like to scale up our partnership with universities, research institutes around the world. We would like to expand our partnership with different stakeholders, including the local government unit, and further lead to the adoption of these technologies as part of the social housing.
But it's not enough that we have a technology. How will this technology be adapted in the communities that we serve? What we look for in Base is building better today so that the lives of the people improve tomorrow.
From optimizing treatment solutions to producing treated poles. From new techniques to sustainable homes. From model houses to built communities. The Base Innovation Center is another step towards Base Bahay's goal of innovating sustainable futures today.